Day 43 of TDR. I have just started week 7 and it was weigh day today, and I have lost another 2.8 pounds, which means I am now at almost 1 stone 6 pounds gone in 6 weeks. Just love TDR so much, because for a postmenopausal woman who I suspect has a lot of insulin resistance going on and other drugs that are affecting my metabolism, just having this low carb really works well for me. As you can see, almost 1.5 stone gone in 6 weeks. So I'm celebrating that today. I'm celebrating 6 inches gone off my waist. 6 inches gone off my waist. And my visceral fat is now normal, which I was very happy to see. And I was also very happy to see that when I started, so I'm 55, when I started, my metabolic age was 63 and I'm now 59. So I was very glad to get into the 50s today. Still got a way to go yet. But I have a plan now of what I'm going to do, and as I start to need more and more of my pain meds as I get closer and closer to my next round of treatment, and I'm feeling very positive and really good. I wanted to share today a thought that's been occurring to me a lot over the last few weeks, and that is in response to a lot of my clients saying, don't know how you're keeping going when so my pain's been getting worse and worse and worse from the pain condition that I suffer from as I get further and further away from my last round of treatment. And they're saying things like, oh, you're so inspiring, and you're amazing to keep going. It's such a, if anyone could have an excuse, it would be you, but you're keeping going. And it's all very nice to have people say things like that, but I think it just comes down to 2 things. I think I have recognized that I am really important, and that sounds really vain. I don't mean it to sound vain, but I've realized that I want to stay alive and as healthy for as long as I can, and whether this, just talking to you now, whether this disease that I've been diagnosed with has made me really start to appreciate that I have got to start looking after my health and looking after me, and that I'm important to do that. I don't want to spend the rest of my days in increasing pain. It's bad enough as it is at the moment. So I wonder whether part of it is that, or whether it's also that, so I'm prioritizing me, but it's also that I've recognized how important this is to me. And so if you're someone who's struggling, who's maybe following my journey and thinking, oh, I really want to lose the weight and I wish I could, but I'm not as committed as Sonia, or I don't have as much willpower as Sonia. It's nothing to do with willpower. It's all to do with, I suppose, want power. It's to do with how important it is to me to get myself back to my happy place again, and to get myself healthy again. And I want that much more than I want the food. So if you're someone who's struggling a little bit, then what that tells you is that what you want more is whatever the food is giving you. So I've talked in my posts about how when I was wanting to lose weight too, but struggling to get back on plan as I was grappling to come to terms with this diagnosis and some other things that have been going on that have caused immense grief and difficulties, the niceness of the food was something I just wasn't prepared to step away from. It was the one nice thing in a time of a lot of crap. So it's worth looking at, what is food giving you? What is the benefit to you of that food? And recognizing that that is a story you're weaving. Because although I said to myself that it was a nice thing in my day of crap, actually it was just increasing my crap. When you really look at that story that I was weaving, it's led me to this point where I'm having to be on 450 calories a day again, in a place where I was utterly miserable. And so it's not a help. it's something we say to ourselves to relieve the pressure of having to deal with our weight, and it is I don't want to call it a burden, but even in maintenance, it's something you have to keep focusing on, and you can't take your eye off the ball at all. And so I get why I did it, and I understand totally when clients struggle to maintain or struggle to stick to plan, because I've been there with you. But it's worth just challenging. You're justifying, just as I was, you're justifying why you need to continue eating, and it's not actually that, it's something underneath that. And so it's really worth looking at that much more closely and asking yourself, what do I really need right now? Because I'm saying to myself it's the food to help me cope with all this, but it's not the food. You need something else to help you to cope. So for me, maybe what I needed was to talk more about how I was feeling, to get more support, I think it was just that, really. I'm a bit of a coper, and I just sort of got on with it, and I just needed to come clean with everyone around me how awful I was feeling and how very, very low I was, and get the support and help I needed. And I suspect if I'd done that, I probably wouldn't have turned to food in quite the same way as I did. Just, yeah, a thought-provoking one for you today.